In January 1959, 9 experienced hikers set out into the Ural Mountains of the Soviet Union. They were never seen alive again. When search teams found them weeks later, what they discovered made no sense. Their tent had been sliced open from the inside. They had fled into -30 degrees without shoes, without coats. Some were found with crushed ribs and fractured skulls, but no external wounds. One was missing her tongue, her eyes, and her lips. The Soviet government sealed the investigation for 30 years. When it was finally reopened, the official explanation satisfied nobody. This is case number 2, the muted file. January 1959, Soviet Union, Cold War. 10 students from the Ural Polytechnic Institute set out on a winter expedition. Their goal, the summit of Otorten, a mountain whose name in the local Mansi language translates roughly to, "Don't go there." Their leader was Igor Dyatlov, 23 years old, experienced. He had done this before, always brought his team home. On January 28th, one member, Yuri Yudin, fell ill and turned back. He said goodbye to his friends at a small settlement in the mountains. It was the last time he saw any of them alive. Yudin lived until 2013. In every interview, he said the same thing. "I wish I knew what happened to them." The remaining 9 pushed on, into the mountains, into the snow. On February 1st, they made camp on the slope of a mountain called Kholat Shakal. In the Mansi language, Kholat Shakal means dead mountain. Igor Dyatlov's diary entry that evening was calm, routine. He wrote that the group planned to push for the summit the next day. Nobody wrote anything after that. When the group failed to return, families raised the alarm. A search party was sent out on February 20th, 19 days after that final camp. What they found on Dead Mountain would haunt them for the rest of their lives. The search team found the tent on February 26th. It had been cut open from the inside, not unzipped. Cut with a knife from within. Multiple slashes, like someone needed to get out immediately and couldn't wait for the entrance. Inside, shoes, coats, supplies, everything needed to survive -30 degrees. All left behind. Footprints led away from the tent, down the slope, toward the tree line. The prints showed they had walked, not run, calmly, in the dark, without shoes. The first 2 bodies were found at the edge of the forest, beneath a large cedar tree, wearing only underwear. The branches above had been broken up to 5 meters high, as if someone had climbed desperately, searching for something in the darkness. Their hands were burned. They had tried to build a fire. It wasn't enough. 3 more bodies were found between the tree and the tent, spaced apart. Their position suggested they had died trying to crawl back. The last 4 were not found until May. They had fallen into a ravine, and their injuries changed everything. Thibaut Brignol had massive skull fractures. Dubinina and Zolotaryov had broken ribs on both sides, the kind of force consistent with a car crash. But there was no external bruising, no cuts, no marks on the skin. Whatever broke their bones left no trace on the outside. And Lyudmila Dubinina, found in the ravine, was missing her tongue, her eyes, her lips. The official report attributed this to natural decomposition in the water. The medical examiner who reviewed the case decades later disagreed entirely. One more detail. Clothing from several bodies tested positive for radioactive contamination, beta radiation, at levels that had no business being on a hiking expedition Soviet investigators opened a criminal case immediately. 3 months later, they closed it. The official conclusion: death caused by an overwhelming natural force. No explanation of the injuries. No explanation of the radiation. No explanation of why 9 experienced hikers abandoned their tent without shoes or coats. Just overwhelming natural force. The file was classified, sealed in Soviet archives for 30 years. When it was finally declassified in the 1990s, researchers found evidence had been removed. Pages missing, photographs listed in the index, but not in the file. Someone had taken something out before it was sealed. In 2019, 60 years later, Russia reopened the case. Their new conclusion: an avalanche. Researchers worldwide disagreed. The slope was too shallow. No debris was found. The footprints showed a calm departure, not a panicked escape from collapsing snow. The case was closed again. It remains, officially, unsolved. So what happened on Dead Mountain that night? 4 theories, none proven. Theory 1, avalanche or katabatic wind. The official position: a sudden rush of snow or violent wind struck the tent. The group cut their way out and fled before they could dress. The problem: no debris, too shallow a slope. And it explains nothing about the injuries, the radiation, or the missing tissue. Theory 2, military testing. The Urals in 1959 were active Soviet military territory. A pressure wave or parachute mine weapon could explain internal injuries with no external marks, and the radiation on the clothing. It would also explain why the government sealed the file so fast and removed pages before archiving it. Theory 3, infrasound. Specific wind conditions can create low-frequency sound waves below human hearing. At certain levels, infrasound causes panic, paranoia, and an overwhelming need to flee. This would explain why 9 rational hikers ran into a blizzard in their underwear, but not the injuries or the radiation. Theory 4, the Mansi people. The local Mansi considered Dead Mountain sacred. Some researchers proposed a confrontation. Soviet investigators cleared the Mansi entirely, but not everyone has accepted that conclusion. 65 years of investigation, 4 theories. Not one explains everything simultaneously. 9 people walked into a mountain in January 1959. Something happened in the dark. Something so sudden, so terrifying, that 9 trained, experienced cold weather hikers cut open their tent and walked calmly into a blizzard without shoes. Most froze to death. 4 had injuries nobody can explain. 1 was found with her face partially removed. Their clothes were radioactive. Pages were removed from the file. The Soviet government called it an overwhelming natural force. Russia called it an avalanche 60 years later. Dead Mountain keeps its secret. This file remains open. I'm the muted file. New case every Thursday. What do you think happened on Kholat Syakhl? Leave your theory below, subscribe, and stay curious.